Well, it's another cloudy day here in Los Angeles. That's right. Coming at you from La Cienega Boulevard. All the neighborhoods have names. I don't know the names of any of the neighborhoods. Just like in New York. I lived in New York. Murray Hill. I'll meet you up at Murray Hill. Is that the phone number? Or is that the name? That's right. So what is up with Hollywood Babylon? Now don't forget, I'm a very musical guy. I came up with my own theme song. Oh, Grievance GOrDIE show. Grievance GOrDIE show. Grievance GOrDIE show. Don't you know? It's just one of them. Right? And I came up with Wikipedia. That's right. Everything I talk about is available for you to check on Wikipedia itself. That's right. So YouTube, I surf the tube. That's all I watch. I'm YouTube exclusive. And they shadow banned me for some of the stuff I talk about. And I don't appreciate it because it's right on Wikipedia. And we should be able to talk about what's on Wikipedia. Right? But at least I'm not on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram anymore. I've made the discovery because I actually went to the hospital. I went to doctors and I thought that I was actually having a stroke. I thought I might have had an aneurysm. Okay, that's how I found out about them cranking algorithms and them being one of the people being my wife, person I was married to, was torturing me. Now I talk about Nietzsche and he talked about the eternal recurrence and he was basically talking about reincarnation. But I couple it with the Oedipal myth and I see it as being an eternal recurrence. We're in an eternal recurrence. These things keep happening over and over again. I felt like my mother was torturing me instead of talking to me. Like she didn't have time to talk to me because she's semi-literate and so she would just hit me. And I married a woman for 7 years that was basically torturing me. She would hit a device. She would crank the algorithm on Facebook. And so just to tell you guys what it's like a little bit. So say if somebody comes around the corner and you're not expecting them to be there and they scream right in your face and you're startled. That's what it's like, but there's nobody coming around the corner. You can't see where it's coming from. So you feel startled all the time. And they're pressing this button. This came from the Facebook app. This came from the Cash for Smells crew. This weak-ass bitch crew who actually believed that I was actually on the run. I was sentenced by a female judge to do community service. I didn't even know what community service was. I stayed out of trouble for 2 years. That was my community service. And I'm ride or die with my old lady. Now, my old lady at the time was an ecstasy dealer. And she was, let's just say she was very sexual. Right? She could have basically done porn, but this was the 90s. She had sex with every single guy she introduced herself to me. And that's why I bring up Annie Lederman. She has a podcast. And she reminds me of Annie Lederman a lot. Annie Lederman has a podcast where her boyfriend is there and she talks about all these guys she slept with right in front of the guy. It's like, at least she didn't talk about it, but I found out like later on that she had slept with all of them. But again, you have to be forgiving. Why? Because she's acting out sexually to overcompensate, right? She's kind of overcompensating for something. Her parents were immigrants. And she was a good time Charlie, the way my father was a good time Charlie. I became a good time Charlie. I didn't really care. As long as we're having a couple of beers. But I didn't know these sissy gossips who are basically Woods and Bloods with tattoos and walking around fronting. It's all a lie. They're all sissy gossips. That's what they are. Without a doubt. And it's really just truly sad. But like I said, I keep going. You ain't stopping me, son. You got to kill me to stop me. You got to put a pill in me to stop me. And you ain't going to do it because you ain't got the guts. That's why I explained to you, take a look at my community section. I keep calling it the comment section. I make a mistake. I make a lot of mistakes on this show. And like Dr. Oblivion from Videodrome, I'm only going to appear on video. That's right. I'm only going to appear on video. I'm not going to talk to anybody without it going on video. I'll talk to anybody on my show. I don't care, I don't care if it's the Pope or whatever. And by the way, so when they introduced asceticism in the Catholic Church for the Catholic priests, that's actually ungodly. How asceticism started was through the Gnostics, okay? Asceticism started as a rejection to the Almighty. Okay, the Almighty is the unmovable mover. The Almighty is not Yahweh. Okay? In Christianity, they believe the Almighty is Yahweh. Okay? I repeat, especially in Catholicism. I got a picture of Jimmy Page saying he's a recovering Catholic. Right? That picture was taken around the time that Sinead O'Connor tore up a picture of the Pope on Saturday Night Live. I repeat, the Catholic priest not getting married, being an ascetic, is ungodly. This is where it comes from. Now, look at all the malfeasance inside the Catholic Church. You see it now? You guys see it? Because I see it. I see it very clearly. I was the only one to talk about... So I keep looking around. I gotta get my thoughts together. It's tough looking at myself. Boy, hey. Hello. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil is an orgasm. Right? You can't say that in church because you got children there. Right? That's why, what's wrong with adult Bible study? What's wrong with adult Bible study? You can see that there were a number of cults that involved children that ended up involving sex and children. We know this is wrong. I'll never make an excuse for a pederast, never. We know it's wrong. But how do you think they started? Well, they're extrapolating, using the exegesis information from the Holy King James. I hope it's from the King James. I don't ascribe to any other tome because it's right by the Latin Vulgate. So it's right, that's the one after the Latin Vulgate is the Holy King James. So they're extrapolating new information, which they have every right to do, right? Each sect. But you have to keep the children separate because you might be talking about something like an orgasm. Right? What's good and what's evil? Well, you could be a horn dog, right, trying to get sex. Or you can use the divine union, form the divine spark, have children. Now, don't forget, I'm pro-LGBT. So I don't care what a person does or who a person falls in love with. Like I said, I grew up with a gay kid in my neighborhood. He caught a crush on me. What are you going to do? I had a crush on his sister. I thought I was going to date his sister, right? But his sister's older than me, so she wants to go out with older guys. And I was like, So that's when I started hanging out with Robert Rebant, who's allegedly dead, and Dave Maroney. And that was about the age of 11. And that's when I started smoking cigarettes and drinking beer. That's a pretty intense life, man. That's why I laugh about some of these phonies. Anyway. Okay. In case you guys don't know, they try to bury my band. They try to bury my music. And I had 5 other guys in the band. They could have actually helped anytime. We knew 3 people with record labels, Sue Summers, Jim Ransweiler, and other people that could have put out our records. They never wanted to because it was all a social scene. And it was all a social hierarchy. And I went back to Michigan 30 years later, that social hierarchy is not only in place, but they were part of the suicide ops that was run through the Facebook algorithm. Okay, I want to make sure that's clear. I'm not on Facebook, I'm not on Twitter, and I'm not on Instagram. I'm only on YouTube. And my only contention with YouTube is shadow banning. All right, that's it. That's all. I'm looking rough. I just don't like being shadow banned when I talk about things that are on Wikipedia. So this is available, right? This kind of stuff is common knowledge. So, right? But anyway, what about Amanda Bynes? What about Amanda Bynes? What's going on there? Well, she is and Bam Margera. Amanda and Bam. Okay? What's going on? Well, they're both on social media, number one. Well, let's make number one the fact that they use illicit drugs. Okay? What do you guys want to say? You want to just say drugs? Okay, they use drugs. So, because it could be big pharma. I don't care. Whatever gets you through the night. All right. Take a look at my community section, guys. I prove that John Lennon was a heroin dealer. That's right. Bringing bundles, sewing bundles in your cloak, right? Paul McCartney said he had the marijuana right in his bag and he just walked right by him. Well, what do you think John Lennon would do? Hey, I'm John Lennon. You don't have to check my bag. But they would sew it on the inside anyways. They'll just open the bag and look. Sewing bundles. Take a look. Ballad of John and Yoko. Look at the lyrics. Peter Brown. That's heroin. The reason he brought Yoko with him, because there was a lot of homosexuality in the drug world at the time. Take a look at a person named Tony King. Okay? And if people don't think men can be sexually exploited, you're out of your mind. And so men have this machismo bullshit. Anyone can be exploited. And this is what I'm trying to show you. And it doesn't matter. You could be exploited for money, sex, anything. Okay? Take a look at Amber Heard, what Amber Heard was saying to Johnny Depp. Amber Heard was inferring to Johnny Depp about participating in LGBT behavior. Okay? And again, you're getting things on my show that you're not getting from other people's shows. I watch Steel Toe. I watch Popcorn Planet. I watch Gavin McGinnis. I watch Alex Stein. Okay, these guys all ape the mainstream. I was watching Chrissy Mayer. She goes, I voted for Jill Stein. It was really funny because I voted for Jill Stein too. I wanted to see what the third party numbers were because I'm a libertarian. A libertarian, really. It's not much. If I had to choose between being liberal and conservative, I'm definitely conservative, 100%. Anyways, blah, 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 blah. We live in a two-party system, so... So Bam Margera and Amanda Bynes need to quit everything. This is how you do it. Now, if they want to use... The only thing you can use is tobacco. And I'm not telling people to use tobacco. Okay, because I used it for a number of years. You can hear, since I took the PCR test, I am permanently sick. Like all the time. And you can see, go back to my first videos and take a look at me now. You can tell. This is why I'm proving things with my own body, with my own life. Look at the amount of things that I came up with, including Ken Jerkman, which I took down. I took down all my Ken Jerkman videos. I got a crush on this chick. What are you going to do? So, and that's why I was talking about the first impulse and the Dasein and being there. You guys remember those episodes? So, you have Amanda Bynes and you have Bam Margera. Okay, first, what you have to do is you have to not take anything. You have to be 100% sober. Okay? And I don't know what happened to Amy Winehouse. I don't believe official narratives. Okay? I don't believe official narratives. Like, you know me, I'm a big Led Zeppelin fan. And they said that Robert Plant, with all due respect, okay, his son, I don't know if it was a son or daughter, but they passed away because of a stomach ailment That sounds like eating dope to me. That sounds like the kid might have got into his dope and ate it. It could have been opium. It could have been hashish. Just something like hashish. Ate it, right? And then overdosed, okay? You're not going to get a stomach ailment without something going into your stomach, without ingesting something. And back in my day, they were like, oh, remember Tide Pods? People are eating Tide Pods. Do you really actually believe this media deep blue story? I know I don't. Right? So that's the official narrative for Robert Plant's child. And my heart goes out to him. I would never want to lose a child. But we know that the kid probably ate dope. I'm not kidding. You know me on my show. I love my rock and roll. I'm a big holdover to that. And I'm not going to go on Spotify and be listening to some... There's guys my age that are out there listening to Taylor Swift. That's the only one I can think of. They're like listening to Taylor Swift, bro. Guys my age, man. They're online responding to media deep blue stories about Taylor Swift. Guys older than me. Like, what the hell? I'm on Facebook. I'm trying to get all this punk rock stuff, and the algorithm is fighting me. I told you that story, guys. But they can crank it up, these Fed rats, and my wife was involved in this, and other people that I know. And you will get got. Make no mistake about it. You're going to squirm like a maggot in the eye of a corpse. That's right. So, take a look at my songs. They're under the Linoleum Blown Apart soundtrack. Okay. So, Bam Margera and Amanda Bynes. Now, Amanda Bynes has a lot of money. Bam Margera has turned into his Uncle Vito. You see what I'm saying? Do you see this Oedipal myth? Do you see an eternal recurrence? It's not the eternal recurrence. It's an eternal recurrence because we keep living this out. Like I said, I'm living with a woman who's like my mother, and she's torturing me. And she's a sociopath. My mother is a fake sociopath. She puts up this hard front out of fear. And my sister adopted that as well. I told you guys before, my sister physically attacked me. That's the last time I was home. And there is no second chances. There's no going back to this. From this. There's no more friendship here. There's no more friendship. If you want to talk to me, you have to talk to me live on the air. On video. Just like Dr. Oblivion in Videodrome. That's who I am. Osborne Strange. Hello. You can see I like to have fun. I really miss having friends and family. I really, truly do. But I'm not going back to the ones that I already had. I'll make new ones. And it's certainly not going to be some Star Manson operative walking around with a pit bull. Trash. Anyway, that's the last one they sent. So first, Amanda Bynes and Bam Margera have money. People are trying to get this money. This is what I listen to Colonel Kurtz's show too. I listen to Angela's Symposium and Esoterica. Sorry, I got to throw those out there. Please subscribe to these shows. I listen to them. And thank you for watching my show. I'm trying to get my guitar out of the pawn shop. I'll do guitar episodes. Take a look at my Acoustapunk episode. I cry and I punch a chair. That's why I left it up. I cry and I punch a chair. That's right. I'm not afraid to show my emotions. I'm not some fake sociopath and blah, 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 blah. Anyway. So in this eternal recurrence, Bam Margera has turned into his Uncle Vito. Okay? Oh, well, look at me. I'm basically my father. Right? I'm a combination of my mother's father. She never dealt with her animus. My sister Leona never dealt with their animus, ever. I did all the way back, and then all of a sudden, slope shoulder humanity of a fuddy-duddy shows up in my life. Yeah! Ugh. Gross. So, all right. All right. So, okay. Yay, coffee. So Amanda Bynes allegedly has about $5 million left. Okay, they're trying to get that money. Okay. Oh man, there's so much I could talk about. You guys, who is it? Tim Dillon Colin Quinn was on Tim Dillon's show. They look like brothers. They talked about pitching a show to Netflix, and like the Netflix executives didn't even go to the same room with them. They like sent production assistants. Like, the people they're pitching to are like, are we supposed to be here? Because I usually get the coffee for them. It's the best. I love it. Anyways, yeah, I'll never take sides. You know, I'm not alt-right or fucking woke left. I mean, you guys are a joke. Most people are centrist. Okay. We got to go. It's 20 after. Thank you very much for watching. Always check the description. Trying to get my guitar out of the pawn shop, and I can show you guys how I write a song. I got tons of songs. I have close to a dozen more songs to put with the property that could go boom like that. But I put my money where my mouth is. I'll be putting up a news story. I swears. Okay, so what are we in? April? News story goes up in April. What comes next? May. Yeah. May, I'll have a brand new story. I'll have the beginning of Linoleum Blown Apart written. I'll have it up and written, guys. No worries, okay? So, Amanda Bynes and Bam Margera. That's what they have to do, because I already went through it. I'm not worried about it. I went through this before I got married. And so that's why these guys, they thought because I got loaded on St. Patty's Day. God bless St. Patty's 2019. Oh, St. Patty's 2019. That was the greatest day of my life. I felt like shit. I was all hungover. I went to work. I couldn't work. It was the best day of my life, man. I'll never forget it. Thank God. Thank God, St. Patty's 2019. Anyway, so, saved my life. So, you got to quit everything. If they want to use nicotine, excuse me, they can use nicotine. You can see when it's this cloudy out, you'll get more congested. I wasn't this congested yesterday. Okay, so you got to quit everything. You have to quit everything for a year, basically. Okay, once a month, you can blow your face out. I'm a big Jay Giles fan. I like bands from Boston. I like Jay Giles and Aerosmith, both from Boston. And I love that dirty water. I got Boston Babies. Okay, so whatever. They got to quit everything. People are trying to get their money. This is what people don't understand. They're trying to steal Amanda Bynes' money. They're using the same tech that they used on me. Okay, I call it algo ops. I call it targeting tech. That's what they're using. They're trying to get her money. If they 5150 her, then somebody can come in and say like, well, she's not in control of her money. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to do the same thing with Bam Margera. And he's allowing it to happen because he's not taking control of his life. Okay? He has to quit everything. Everything. You have to get off of social media. Okay? That is key. That's the most important part. You have to get off of social media. And people can't give it up. Now, what I recommend, right, YouTube? They gave me a tube. Get off of Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. They can't because it's too addicting, right? Take a look at the social network. Take a look at that beautiful little Nepo baby. What's her name? Dakota, what's her name? Johnson. Gorgeous. Let me tell you something about Dakota Johnson. She is unaffected. She has a natural ability to be an actress. She's completely in the moment, okay? Now, I could bring up some other actresses like Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan worked with my favorite, Paul Schrader. That's what I was talking about in another episode. And I went outside. I was singing in that episode, okay? She worked with a porn actor, and Paul Schrader used a porno guy, right? Because don't forget, he did the film Hardcore, right? And you look at Lindsay Lohan, and she's completely self-aware, okay? Take a look at Dakota Johnson. She doesn't have that, right? She's completely in the moment. You believe every word that comes out of her mouth. Now, this is muy importante. That's why I always say that I'm a trained actor. That's why I'm a trained actor. That doesn't mean that I went through a lot of training, because I really didn't. When I talk about William H. Macy, I'm talking about him breaking down scripts, the way I started breaking down things, the way I started thinking about things from the time I was a little kid, figuring things out, looking up words in the dictionary, being a wordsmith, right? And then writing songs. I became a songwriter, and what are those songs? Those songs are very personal, just like my memoir that I wrote. I was supposed to write a second memoir, guys. It was called I, Son. That's my last name, Ison, right? And it was about two-legged animal. It was Darwinian, right? We can't escape this, right? It was about going from Darwin to two-legged animal going to sun. The sun is born, right? And you can see I'm still wrapped up into elements of the Holy King James. Don't forget, you get something new on my show every single time you listen to it. I want to thank you for listening. Help me get my guitar out of the pawn shop. Please donate to the show. Please. And if you want, I'll pay you back. I will pay you back. There is no doubt. I can fully do it. I want to get my guitar out of the pawn shop, but I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Next month, you're going to get a brand new story. I'm going to put this one up. It's only going to be part 1. So eventually I'll have to get to part 2. Okay? And then starting next month, by the end of May, yay! I am the son of May, a May son. I'm actually, I call myself the inept adept because I've surpassed even a Rosicrucian at this point. There's no holding me back from this esoteric knowledge, and there shouldn't be anything holding you back as well. Thank you very much for listening to me, and don't ever forget that you heard it here first. The aesthetics in the priesthood, a priest should be able to get married and have children. When you're an ascetic, you're saying to God, I reject your beautiful world. Let's just say, I reject this world. I reject your beautiful trees that produce fruit. I reject it. I'm not going to have anything like that. I'm going to sit here and drink water, have a little something to eat. I'm not going to participate in sexual union. Okay? And again, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is anything can be used for good or for evil, right? Even your sexuality. Thank you very much for watching my show. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know.